Welcome in, Veno. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. You flew in from Sydney last night?
I did, mate. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, got in late last night, hung out with family, so it's good.
Very good.
Really good.
Very good. Well, welcome into the pod. I think this is the first time you've been in the room since it's been all done up.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. We've done a few of these now, and the whole concept of the podcast is to educate and kind of connect people in our organisation, as we've obviously grown from, back in the day with our one office in Melbourne, 10 people that you were a part of, to now over 100 people in 4 or 5 different states now. So the goal is to, help connect and educate people about our industry, about the people running companies within our organisation. I think it's going pretty well so far. So welcome in. Keen to have you.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, good to be here.
No worries. So how long have we known each other now? 10 years?
Yeah, mate. This is my 10th year in the industry. So I started in I started in August 2016.
Right.
Yeah, so coming up to 10 years.
There you go. I think 2016 seems to be the
year,
right? So Naomi started 2016, then you, and then Ben started right at the end of 2016. So there you go. That's pretty cool. 3 owners in
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, just got to stick it out. But we'll get into that. We'll get into your journey. We'll get into what you were doing before, how you got started, and all that sort of stuff. But I do like to kind of take everybody back, just to get a bit of context on who you are and the journey along the way. So tell us a little bit about growing up. You grew up in Malaysia, didn't you?
Yeah. Born and raised in the capital of Malaysia, which is Kuala Lumpur.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, you've been there when we went there, a couple of years ago now?
A couple of years, yeah. It was nice. Yeah. A conference over there.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. Born and raised there. Lived there all my life, actually.
Yeah.
For the first 31 years of my life before I moved to Australia. But yeah, as a kid, we grew up in a family of 4. So it's mom, dad, and my sister. So 4 of us, we were known to be the family, the family that have like different types of earnings and lifestyles. Yeah, we were one of the middle class ones that parents only earn an income just for us to live week to week. But I really enjoyed my childhood. It was amazing. Dad was a project manager. I think that was his title at the time, for a telco company called Maxis back in Malaysia. It's similar to Optus here. So he was doing that for pretty much his whole life. Mom used to be a nurse when she was pretty young, and when she got married to dad, she quit nursing and became a full-time mom just to take care of me and sister. And then when we grew up and we started primary school, my mom had to go to work again. Funny enough, she actually ran a business, a really small business. It was a food stall selling Malaysian local food,
right?
In like morning and night markets, like what we have out here. So she did that for a few years so that we could have enough week to week. So we could get good education and stuff like that. It's really good, and I always say the best gift my parents ever gave me is my sister. We are pretty close, grew up together. She's 1 year younger to me, so she's turning 40 this year. I always say I think when I knew my sister's presence in my life, loneliness was over for me, because I knew I always had a friend, and till today we are still very, very close. Childhood was amazing. We didn't have everything. We didn't have lots of luxuries, but we had enough, I think. We found joys in everything that we had at the time. It was a pretty good childhood. I really, really enjoyed myself as a kid. When I think I love learning, so I love academics.
Were you always like that? Even from a young age?
I think so, mate.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed school. Like, I was just one of those kids who wakes up and can't wait to get to school.
Yeah, I was not that kid.
Yeah, I was definitely that child, I think. I really enjoyed school. So when I got to school, I just love learning. I love my subjects. My favorite subject is maths. Absolutely loved it.
We're definitely not the same.
Yeah.
I went to school to play sport.
There we go.
That was all I went for.
Yeah, but
I love that.
Yeah, sport is obviously my passion.
Yeah.
But I think education and sport are the 2 things that I grew up absolutely loving as a kid. Love my school time studying. When I went back home and I needed to do homework, I loved it. I love finishing my homework and being really proud, showing my mom that I've done my homework, and I need to show that to school tomorrow, bring it back to my teacher tomorrow. But then at the same time, if I'm not doing things for school, I'm just playing sport. That was just me. grew up playing lots of football or soccer, we call it here. I'm a big Arsenal fan, as you probably know, mate. Yeah, we're winning the league this year, that's for sure.
I think that's going to happen. Yeah.
Oh, mate, it better it better happen.
Surely can't choke again, can you?
Hopefully not, mate. 22 years of a wait.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, so yeah, I played lots of football, but I also watched lots of football as well when I was growing up. Yeah, but also I got involved in multiple different sports. I think the biggest achievement I've had is badminton. So I played for state and national levels in badminton.
Actually, I did learn this about you when I was in Malaysia, is that Veno actually went to the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
In 2008, was it? No, 2012.
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
I don't want to age you too much with 2008, but 2012. You were actually in the Malaysian
squad. Yeah. Yeah, the backup squad of Malaysia. Yeah.
Don't say backup. You went to the Olympics.
Didn't get to compete in the Olympics, but yeah.
It doesn't matter. Who can say they've been to the Olympics?
Yeah.
So
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool journey of my sporting time, I would say.
So you're like a somewhat celebrity in Malaysia.
Yeah, I guess so.
I love that. I remember when I found that out, because I was like, wait, hold on. Will people actually like recognize you? And you're like, maybe not anymore, but they probably would have back in the day. Yeah. So that's quite funny.
Yeah, I still play. I still play till today. I still love the sport a lot.
Yeah.
But it's just badminton or football. But also, there were so many different things that I grew up playing, which I think just due to my competitive nature, I just love winning. The emotion of winning is just amazing. Which obviously, in this industry, we get to do that every single day, which is one of the reasons why I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much how I grew up.
Nice. Awesome. And as you said, you spent the first 31 years of your life in Malaysia. So obviously you had a career, before moving over here and getting started in our industry. So talk to us about that. You were an accountant for a number of years before moving to Australia. So
after
talk us through that journey.
Yeah, after high school, it's, like a typical high school graduate, the thing you're supposed to do is go to uni.
Yeah. And
that's what I was told. So I was like, okay, what would I do in uni? Because my only ambition that I had was to be a professional football player. I thought I'll play for Arsenal one day. I kept trying. I'm still trying, mate. Hopefully I'll get there. One day. Maybe I'll win as the league. Who knows?
Late call.
But after school, besides football, I also loved, I love computers. I love the IT side of the world. Maybe because of my obsession with FIFA. But I thought, maybe I can create a game like FIFA one day. So I thought, maybe I should just go do IT, something in the IT industry. And then, when I hung out with a few people who, a lot of my friends had dads who were quite successful in their own careers. And I still remember a conversation in a bar, which when this guy said to me, if you want to be successful in your life, you need to learn how to manage money and be really good and knowledgeable in finances. And he goes, what do you think of doing? And I go, I probably want to get into IT. And he goes, have you considered accounting or finance? So you can actually learn finance and one day, who knows, go run your own business, right? Because every business owner needs to have good financial knowledge. And I go, I never considered it, but guess what? I like maths. It's my favorite subject in school. Maybe I should give it a go and I should try it. And I went to an education fair back in Malaysia. Just looking out for different universities that was providing courses on accounting and finance. And I found one, which was quite affordable. It wasn't as expensive as a degree. So then I go, if I get into this course, maybe I could, learn it, see how I go with it, and maybe pursue it as a career if I really enjoy it. I love maths. I can't see how I wouldn't like accounting. And because it was affordable, and at the time my parents could only afford that, and I go, okay, it seems like everything is in line here. Let me give it a go, And I applied for to the uni, got into accounting, did that I studied for 3.5 years. But after my first, I did professional accounting. So it's called ACCA, which is Chartered Accounting. The degree is from the UK. So it's not a degree, but it's a professional course. So usually people do a degree and then go do this course.
Right.
Or you can get straight into it.
Straight to the course.
But it is so much more difficult because you have zero knowledge of accounting. And also, a lot of people who go get work experience for 4 or 5 years, then they go into this course, if that makes sense.
Right, okay. So you skip straight to the advanced level.
Yeah, so I was like, if this is the end goal, I might as well just get started on it.
Was that really hard then? I assume it was a lot harder than you expected.
you're given 10 years to complete the course.
10.
You're given 10 years.
So how long did you take to complete
I
it?
did it in 3.5.
Okay.
Which is not too bad, I guess. But I think
Mr. Modest.
yeah, I think the biggest challenge I had was after the first couple of years. The third year of that course it is the hardest year, and I lost my dad. Unfortunately, he passed away. So when I lost my dad, I had to go start working, and then finish my last year in uni as well, to make sure I don't take 10 years to finish the course and just finish it in the last year.
Wow.
And and I said to myself, now I need to go pay for my last year in uni. At the same time, I need to help family to earn an income. And I was like, what would I do, right? So because I love studying, learning, and teaching as well, I started doing private tutoring.
Okay.
I did that a little bit when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, but wasn't a thing that I used to do. But then when I lost my dad, I was like, I probably need to pursue this so I can earn a side income.
Yep.
So I taught maths, science, physics, chemistry, biology, just one-on-one tutoring at people's houses, earn an income there so I could pay my uni fees and also help family a little bit. But then it wasn't enough because my mom only had a food stall. So you can only imagine having me and my sister. It was quite difficult for us. So I've gone, okay, so if that is not enough, I need to go do something else. And I was like, what if I start just getting into an accounting firm and start working and gain my experience while I needed the income. And also it's going to be applicable to my studies anyway. Yeah. I knew it was going to be a lot on me, like losing that and then doing accounting at work and then after work going to teach tuition and then also study my final year and exams. I knew it was tough, but I was like, it's 12 more months. I'll just get this out of the way. And that's what I did.
Wow. I didn't know that. So it sounds like a hectic schedule. What was your, and plus you're doing this with the grief of, losing your father.
Yeah.
Which by itself is hard enough, let alone taking on all the responsibility of now being the man of the family and trying to help and provide.
Yeah.
What was like a weekly schedule? So what, you'd work pretty standard hours and then study for a number of hours after work, before work? Like how did it look?
Yeah, standard hours in accounting, it's there's no really standard hours because accounting is a high pressure environment. I did auditing more than just accounting. So there's always deadlines for everything.
So explain what auditing is for people like me who are dumb and don't really know what auditing is.
We just walk into corporate companies and check the accounts and see if every single number that's presented in the books, it's done right and done well.
And if it's not, that's your job to fix it for them?
Yeah, kind of. We could fix it for them, but we also could take action if they do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That was what my
Veno
job
puts
was.
people in jail.
Yeah, kind of. I was like the police officer in the accounting world.
Okay.
That's how I used to call myself. Yeah.
The police officer of the accounting world.
But yeah, it was a pretty cool industry to work in. Like you learn so many different things, and you'll also learn a lot of different industries.
Yeah.
Because you're auditing different
everything
type of industries. Yeah.
So sorry, to go back. What was that schedule when you were balancing, still studying this 10-year course that you did in 3 while working, providing, etc.? What was it?
Yeah. So we get into work at about say 8:30 in the morning, and I probably finish at 5. When I say finish, the working hours is finish at 5. And then I go do my private tutoring from like 6 to 9 at night. And then more often than not, I come back to the office to continue my day job because it's never finished. It's always quite taxing with deadlines and different things, right? That's why I used to work till 1, 2 a.m. most times in my career in accounting, till very late. And then the next morning you go again, right? And then when exam time comes, I just reduce my tutoring hours so I can fit my studying time to do exams. So that 12 months was pretty hectic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I like sleep, but
you weren't sleeping much that year.
Yeah, not that much, but it was all right. I managed.
Got through it. Okay. There you go. Wow. And so tell us how you ended up in Melbourne. So I know you and G had this goal for a long time.
Yeah.
G being your wife, of course, to, get married and then move to, was it always Melbourne? Was that always the goal?
No, not really, mate. Okay. Because I mean, the whole idea of moving or living abroad or going overseas for Malaysia actually came from my dad. Because my dad, when he grew up, he always said to me, if you want to go fulfill your potential, you want to leave Malaysia and go. At the time back in Malaysia, we have got like there's a thing like there's a few first world countries that if you live in, you're gonna do well. And one of them was the UK, the US, or Australia. Those are 3. I always wanted to go to the UK. That was always the goal. primarily because of football. But then when the time came for me to move abroad, or when I met G for the first time, I was lucky enough that she was also interested in living overseas and not live in Malaysia. There's nothing wrong with Malaysia. Malaysia is a great country. We all love it. Like, it's a good place. Good people, good environment. I would say good upbringing for a lot of little kids as well. But I think there's a lot of inequality when it comes to opportunities in Malaysia, which is what a lot of Malaysians know because of the way the country works. But long story short, me and G thought if we leave the country, we can probably fulfill our potential somewhere else. So I suggested we move to the UK. And she goes, sure, if you want to move to the UK, we can do it. I applied to things like London School of Economics at the time because of my degree. But at the same time, we also came for a holiday to Melbourne because G's best mate lives in Melbourne. And we really liked Australia when we got here. The weather was amazing. People were great. And we knew that opportunities in Australia will be given to you if you're good enough. And we thought we were good enough at the time. And we go, okay, if the opportunity is great here, why wouldn't we move here? It's also a lot closer to home. It's only 8 hours away. And my sister also moved to Australia a year before me. And because I only got my mom used to live with me back in Malaysia. And mom goes, if you move to Australia as well, I might just come with you. Because what am I going to do here by myself when both my kids are in Australia? And I go, and mom said that it's almost a no-brainer. And that's what got me to move to Melbourne. Yeah, so moved here in May 2016, which is coming up to 10 years now. And naturally, I applied for a few different accounting jobs. So one of the companies I used to work for back home is PricewaterhouseCoopers, or PwC. So more people who don't know the company, it's one of the biggest auditing firms in the world. They're in every major city in the world. So I applied to them here in Melbourne. But while waiting for an opportunity from them, I was like, oh, it's going to take a while for me to get into the accounting position that I want, because I used to be a GM of finance or a CFO. That was what my position was.
Right.
So when you come to a new country, when the tax is new and the law is new, they're never going to go, hey, Veno, here's the CFO position for you.
Yeah.
Right. So they said, we're happy to
pretty much start right at the bottom again, right?
Not really. They wanted to give me like a manager position,
Okay.
which is 3 or 4 positions below what I applied for.
Yeah.
I was happy to do it.
Yeah.
I was happy to do it. I was happy to learn and go again. But they said, for you to take that position, you still have to wait for your intake, they call it.
Yep.
And I was like, happy to wait. How long would I wait? And they go, might be a couple of months. And I go, okay, maybe I should just go try something different. While I wait for a couple of months, I had enough savings, to pay my rent and different things for a few months. But maybe I should go earn some money and learn something new. I'm in a new country anyway, so why wouldn't I? And because of my obsession in sports, I went on Seek at the time, just like most people in our industry. And I typed the word sports. I saw a job ad at the time, and it said sports marketing. The key line it said was no skills and experience required. And I go, yep, love sports. I know what sports is. I think I'll probably like the job. I don't know what marketing is. I had no clue. But I also knew that accounting is one of the hardest things to do in the world. So I didn't expect marketing to be that difficult. I thought I can probably do it. Let's give it a go. And I applied. Yeah, came for an interview. First time I met Daryl, who interviewed me, and got started in his company, in August 2016. So coming up to 10 years now.
Yeah, right. Sliding doors moments.
That's it, mate. I'm still here. I'm still here 10 years later.
Like, wouldn't it, how life would be different if there was no wait on the intake, or if the wait was only a month?
Yeah.
Or they're like, oh, actually, there's 1-2 weeks from now.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, mate. I say this to a lot of people, sometimes we forget the opportunity we have in this industry. And I think, I speak for myself, I'm very lucky to fall in this industry because I didn't look for it. It came to me. I fell into it, and I'm so grateful that I made the most of the opportunity. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, 100%. I heard on a different podcast. Obviously, it's not as good as our podcast, but I heard on a different podcast someone talking about luck, and they were talking about how they felt extreme. They said similar to you. I felt very lucky that I can't even remember who it was or what they were talking about. So it's not a great story, but they were talking about luck, and then the person who was interviewing them said something along the lines of, well, you keep talking about luck, but everybody gets lucky, but it's what you make of that luck separates, people who become successful and people who don't.
Yeah.
Because everybody is presented luck multiple times.
Yeah.
And it's just about going for it and taking it.
Yeah, it's making the most of it.
Yeah.
We all get lucky in different things, but it's just a matter of, whether you want to pursue it and go make something from it, I think a lot of people don't I don't know. Like I see people in our industry and they don't appreciate what they actually have, or maybe they don't even realize what they actually have. I'm glad that when I came to the industry, I knew from very early on that this was something if I pursue, I can probably be successful.
Yeah. So what was it? Because me and you are very different in how we came into the industry, right? So I came in as a 19-year-old kid who hadn't had much experience except for working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So for me, it took me a little while to appreciate the fact that you can progress based off criteria, not time and experience.
Yeah.
Or you can earn a higher income purely by providing more value. And you didn't have to be a certain age to earn a certain income.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it took me a little while to actually appreciate that, just because I didn't know any different. Whereas you've come in having had a career and a very successful career. So how early on did you realize, oh wait, I might be onto something here? Or was there a moment or a couple of conversations that sparked that gratitude and that, and in your mind, like, oh, if I get this right, I could have my own business one day?
Yeah. 100%. As I shared before, from my childhood, the thing that really resonated with me is education, people, and sports, right? I think if you put those three things together, is our industry. It is all education. We teach people things all the time, and we do that on a day-to-day basis. And if you want to be successful here, you need to develop that skill set to be a leader of people. And also, it's a people-based industry, and I love people, And the other thing is just we've got a scoreboard to work towards every single day, and it's just the mentality of winning. And I knew I can create the culture for myself and also for people around me, which is what sports is anyway. So when I learned that early on in my career about the industry, and I go, okay, this makes sense. If I pursue this, I'm probably going to pursue what I really like as a child anyway, and I really enjoy doing day to day, But there was also multiple different moments. I think the one that I share a lot is just the road trip that you ran, which was my first ever road trip. That was to Canberra.
What a great road trip.
Yeah. It was to Canberra. I still remember there was 12 of us on the trip.
I remember this trip, yeah.
Yeah. I was the most non-senior person on that trip.
The least senior, maybe?
Yeah. I was
not in age, but in experience.
I think I was the only non-leader on the trip.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it was an amazing trip because I learned so much from the trip. But at the same time, that trip was the game-changing moment in my career, I think, early on, because I knew from that trip that I did really well on the trip. I came back as a leader, so I got promoted after the trip. But also at the same time, I saw how people work with each other to support each other. And the funny thing is, every single person on that trip actually won. And it taught me that this game that we're playing is not for me or for you. It's for anyone within that trip.
Yep.
So everyone can win. So if you look at it the bigger scale, it's the same thing. In our industry, everyone can win, provided you really want to win and you wanna pursue it, and be serious about it. So yeah, I think that was the game-changing moment for me, the road trip. But then when I came back, Daryl introduced me to a lot of different parts of the journey on what I can pursue and how it works and different things. And I go, you know what? I might as well shut the back door on accounting. I'm still waiting for the interview anyway, and just give this a go and see how far I can take this. And yeah, still here till today.
Wasn't that road trip the birth of your company name?
Yeah.
As well?
Yeah.
So I probably should have said this at the start, but Veno is the managing director of Fellowship International, which is based in Sydney. So we'll talk about how you ended up there in a minute. And based off that road trip, how did you come up with the name Fellowship? What was the concept there?
Yeah. So when I got back from the road trip, Daryl asked me. We went through the career progression model, or we call it the journey these days.
Yep.
And Daryl goes, if you ever build a team, what do you think you want to call your team? Obviously, naturally, I said Arsenal, but I couldn't pick that name. And then, I put a good thought to it. And while having the conversation with Daryl, I said, the experience I had on the road trip was like a fellowship of people who work together and try to be successful together. And Daryl goes to me and he says, the word fellowship, I've not heard of it for a very long time. Maybe if you have a team one day, you can call it Fellowship instead of calling it Arsenal. And I go, that might be good.
Yeah.
I might pick that name one day. And that's literally what I did.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so good. Oh, cool. Great. Let's go back. Actually, no, we don't need to go back. We're already there. So, in terms of starting in the industry, we talked about you coming from accounting, auditing, very different to sales. You know, you thought accounting and auditing was quite a difficult role, and no doubt it is. When you came into marketing or sales, you know, well, I know the answer to this, but were you a complete natural? Did it come quickly to you? Did it? Yeah, or what was the biggest challenge, and what was your mindset towards it when you had an early challenge with grasping sales?
Yeah, I knew from the get-go it's going to be challenging for me because I've never done sales before. Number one, but I think the biggest one of all is just more my personality. You know, I'm actually an introvert. You know, I love my alone time. I'm normally the most quiet one in a social setting, right? And sales is my mentality was it is the opposite of me. You need to be more extroverted. You need to be speaking really well. You need to be a good public speaker. And you know, in the work that we do face to face, you do that with every single customer you speak to, right? So, but what I learned very early on is, you know, sales is actually a system, not a skill, which means it falls back to education. If I learn how to speak well and communicate well and learn the systems around sales, I can probably be really good at it. It's just a matter of time. So I'm definitely not a natural. It took me a long time to pick up sales. I think, you know, I rang my first ever bell 6 weeks in the industry. Yeah, people take 6 hours to ring the bell these days. but yeah, it took me a while to pick it up. But when I got it, it was just when everything clicked for me. I don't think there was a moment where I thought I could never be really good at it. You know?
Didn't you give yourself like a 3-month deadline? It was you can't. It was you have a 3-month rule.
Yeah.
Do you still follow that?
Yes, I still follow that.
Yeah, what's the rule?
Yeah, the rule is a 90-day policy. So if I pick up a new skill, it can be any skill, you know, whether it's, you know, for example, playing the guitar or learning how to swim or whatever it is, right? Whatever I've done in my life, I give myself 90 days. If I can make it in 90 days or I really enjoy it and I see myself progressing, I'm going to pursue it. If I don't, I'll let it go.
Yeah.
So I say the same thing for this industry. You know, if I can actually sell in 90 days and be a high performer in the team, and I knew what a high performer was at the time, I would pursue this because I do enjoy speaking to people, but I also enjoy the results that I can achieve each day, which is the sense of winning.
Yeah,
you know. But 90-day rule I call it.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny you said that because I didn't have that rule. Again, I was a lot younger and a lot more immature when I joined the industry. But my dad actually forced a 90-day rule on me. Because I wanted to quit after my 3rd day. And he goes, that's a bit pathetic. You've been doing it for 3 days. Of course, you're not going to be good at it yet. You have to give it at least 3 months. And so...
I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, oh, okay. And he was a bit more like, you're giving it 3 months. Like he wasn't suggesting, he was telling me.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't have another job. Like you're not going to uni. You're not going to be a bum at home. You're going back to work and you're going to give it 3 months. And so I did. And, you know, funny how you give something a bit of time and you put a bit of effort in, you pick it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So managed to grasp sales, moved into a leadership role. Obviously the goal would probably evolved after that. You know, you said you had this conversation with Daryl. You wanted to get into leadership. You wanted to build teams with the end goal of obviously running your own business. So how did you take to leadership? Was there any challenges early on with leading people or? What were the biggest ones that you had?
I think naturally, I mean, leadership came naturally to me because of my background in accounting. I was already leading people and leading a team back in the accounting world. So I didn't find it more challenging than sales, if I'm completely honest. I thought leadership is something I could do pretty well because also leadership means you are trying to impact and create success in others, which means you're trying to educate others. And I love education. I love teaching anyway. So I knew I'm going to pick that up quite well. But I think the biggest challenge I had in leadership is just more, it's on my personality and my character because I'm more of a submissive person and I just love helping others. That just comes naturally to me.
Bit of a people pleaser?
Yeah. Not a little bit. I think a lot of a people pleaser. Yeah. So I wanted to be the nice guy and just help everyone, lead everyone the way I thought was the best way to lead people. So I did not intentionally want people to like me, but I think psychologically that's what I wanted, right? Which, in this game, it doesn't work very well because, I did, in my team building career, I would say, I did not learn how to prioritize well enough. So I try to help too many people. I spend time with the wrong people in the industry. But when I learned that, I knew what leadership actually was. It's just to give back to people who deserve it. Because if they deserve my time, I should give them the same time as well. I think that's one of the biggest challenges when I was building a team. But in terms of like naturally impacting people and educating people, I was pretty sound from the get-go.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a common mistake a lot of leaders make, isn't it? I mean, I still make it to this day where
Same.
you want to support and you can see the potential in people, and so you want to support as best you can and help as much as you can. But really, the people that do deserve your time are the people that are providing the most value.
Yeah.
And sometimes because they're more capable, they get a little bit neglected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neglected's a bad word, but yeah, they don't get as prioritized as maybe someone who's underperforming.
Yeah.
When really it should be the other way around. So, okay, cool. So, Sydney expansion. You've been up in Sydney now for 5 years?
5 years, yeah. This is our fifth
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
Okay, cool. 5 years. I'm proud of myself. I got that right, actually. Which is good because I got Will coming up next. And I'll mention it. But yeah, so how did you land up there? Tell us that journey. You obviously Seamus went with you, and cool milestone that we're about to achieve, or you're about to achieve, I should say, very soon, or is he's going to incorporate his company very, very soon up there.
Yeah.
And you're going to come back to Melbourne, I believe.
Yes.
So EC1, mate, that's pretty cool.
That's it, mate.
But yeah, talk to us about the expansion and Seamus's role in that, and obviously Will expanded at the same time from Adelaide. Tell us about how that all happened. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really interesting story. I think it's just the whole expansion was a reminder to me, especially on what this industry is all about. It's just an opportunity-based model. And if you do the right things for a long period of time, you will get the opportunities for yourself.
Yeah.
So when I was in Melbourne, one of my biggest challenges was to get a visa, a permanent visa to stay in Australia and pursue a career in this industry. Because I brought my family into the promised land going, if I get my accounting career right, we will be permanent residents anyway, because I will get my PR from that industry. But when I pursued this industry, I knew there's going to be a bit of a challenge for me to go secure permanent residency. But yeah, long story short, my wife, who's a vet, she was called up by our immigration lawyer saying that we could secure a permanent residency through her work if we actually moved to New South Wales. Because at the time, this was just after COVID. The Victorian government was not giving out those visas yet, but it was available in Sydney or New South Wales if we actually wanted to move there, right? So, I mean, naturally, while, two people waiting for the visa for over 5 years at the time, we go, that move makes sense because then we can secure the visa and live here forever, which is the goal. But I go, but what would I do? I've built this team of over 20 people. Now I'm doing pretty well alongside Daryl. If I move to a new state, how would this work, right? But yeah, it's one of the biggest benefits of our industry. And Daryl, all I said to Daryl was, man, I probably need to move to Sydney to secure my permanent residency and my visa. He goes, let's do it. And I go, okay. Is it that easy? He goes, yeah, because we always wanted to move to Sydney anyway and expand our office there. But now because you can go there, it's just a no-brainer. Let's pull it off. And he goes, when do you need to go? And I go, if I can go tomorrow, that'd be great because they want me there as soon as possible. And he goes, we probably can't open up an office tomorrow, but we can do it as quick as possible. As long as we can gather a team from here so you can bring along and support you along the way, we can actually run that office quite well.
So what was the time frame from that conversation to actually moving?
4 months.
4 months, okay. That's fairly fast.
Yeah, the convo happened in August. I still remember it. And then we went to Sydney, look up for a new office, put everything in place, gathered the team as well. So we had a team of 7 that went with me to Sydney. And as you mentioned, one of them is Will Staples, who now runs his own company. And the other one is Seamus, who came with me and who's about to incorporate his own company as well. And we started in January 2021 is when we started.
Unreal.
With 7 in Sydney.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. Okay. Talk to me about some of the early challenges of running your first office, because, you know, it's a big part of everybody's journey when they leave the nest, so to speak. And, you know, sometimes it can be a little bit isolating. And you know, just talking from experience, you can put a fair bit of pressure on yourself, and you want to make sure it works. And there's always the comparison. Like, I assume there was a little bit of comparison, like, oh, this is hard to get off the ground. I had a team of 20 in Melbourne. Like, will we get back there up here? That sort of thing. So talk to us about the battles and, you know, mentally the challenges of getting that office going. Yeah, because now it's flying. Yeah. Now it's absolutely flying. How many guys you got in the location now?
Right now? In the location across myself and Will, we're coming up to 85, I think.
85, yeah, okay. So that's from 5 years ago. Yeah. That's fast. Yeah, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, that's quick. It's quick growth. So yeah, talk to us about some of the early battles getting it going, because I know it didn't go from 5 to 10 and then 10 to 15 and 15 to 20 straight away. So
yeah, 100%. I think you used the word isolation. That was probably the biggest challenge for myself, because when I grew up in this industry, it was Daryl and yourself, and, you know, whether the Bens and Naomi's who was always around me, and there's people always to bounce off with, you know, whether it's whether it's to have some fun with it, but at the same time, if I had a challenge, I knew there was people around me who I can just reach out to. It's not that I can't reach out from Sydney, but you do feel like you're alone sometimes and running the whole thing by yourself. So that was obviously a big challenge for me. But I also knew at the same time, if I could master that isolation, you call it, right? I'm probably going to be a really good business owner in the future, because I'm going to take ownership of this opportunity to make the Sydney location successful, you know? But I think the other big challenge I had was just an emotion of not wanting to let Daryl down. It was quite hard for me to walk into the office going, if I'm not successful today, Daryl's also not successful, and he's helped me get to the position I am today, you know? Yeah. So that was another big challenge I had. The other one is just more my decision makings, I would say, when I was running the Sydney location, because I'm more of a people pleaser, you call it. I made a lot of decisions that today when I look back at it, I go, I would have made a different decision for sure, because I try to keep people around and try to build it for people, sometimes to the detriment of me or to the company I was working for at the time, which is obviously Bua. Those were the I would say the teething challenges at the start, but we got over it after a while. Yeah.
But you gotta make those mistakes. I mean, the argument is you don't have to. You can learn from other people's mistakes, but the best way to learn is by making those mistakes and then learning from them, feeling the pain of them, and then going, okay, when that happens again, there's a change of behavior. Yeah, that's what wisdom is, I think.
Yeah,
so, there's two people I want to sort of zero in on here with the expansion to Sydney, because I think one thing that's quite unique about what we've built in the last decade or so is the relationships that we've built along the way. Like, I think our ownership group is, quite close, and, it's always great catching up. Like, every time you fly into Melbourne or whatever, it's always like, hey, like it's always great to see you. Talk to me about how your relationship with Seamus has evolved, because he followed you to Sydney, essentially, to chase the dream. And you guys would have been working together for only a year or so at the time before you guys went up to
Sydney? Not really. Oh yeah, about a year before we moved to Sydney. Yes.
So now it's 5 years later.
Yeah.
So how's that relationship evolved, and how happy are you for him that he's gonna take that next step and open his business?
Yeah, I'm super pumped for him. The guy. I mean, we've got really close, I would say, especially in the last couple of years, because we work really closely together, whether it's in the field or in the office. But I think for someone like him, he's obviously started similar to you. I think he was 19 when he started as well, and picked up sales quite quickly. He was very, very good in sales when he started. But I think for him, it was more his leadership skills that he needed to work on, and he could rely on me on that a lot, because that was my strength. But in the last few years, I think he's evolved so much. Like, his leadership now is just second to none. he does a lot of things better than me sometimes. And when I look at him and I go, it's a proud moment for me. But at the same time, I go, the guy absolutely deserves it because he's put in so much of work in the last couple of years to build that skill that he had to work on for a long, long time in his career, But now, we just registered. He just registered his company name 2 days ago. So we have a company name, which is awesome.
He's registered it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's official.
So we have a certificate, which is nice. It's going to be called Atlas Direct.
Yep.
Yeah. So, really good moment for him. I'm super keen to see what he can build in the next, few years coming his way. But I just think, he's got what it takes to be successful in this industry.
Love that. That's awesome. Good on you, Seamus. I know you're listening. And the other person's Will. So I don't know how well you knew Will before moving to Sydney and running and opening the office together, because he was obviously based in the Adelaide office and that relocated to Sydney at the same time that you were moving to Sydney.
Yep.
How has that relationship evolved? And obviously now he's running his own business, so no doubt there's a bit of pride there from your side as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think, I don't know, I think Will was naturally pretty good in a lot of things that was required to be successful in this industry. But what he was not very good at is similar to Seamus, I was pretty good at. And same the other way around. Things that were my weaknesses was actually Will's strengths. So we actually learned a lot with each other as we were coming through the industry. Yes, I did support him a lot when he was coming through his journey to become the leader he is today. No doubts at all. But I have to say I've learned a lot from him as well in, managing people, managing a team, decision makings and different things, Sometimes, I think it doesn't matter how long you've been in this industry, you can always learn from the other person who's in the same journey as you or is whether they're behind you in their journey or they're well ahead of you, you can still learn something from someone. So I used that to my advantage. I thought, Will, he's just different. His story is so powerful because his story is different to mine. He started when he was 19. He was a student studying engineering, left Adelaide, moved to a new city, left his parents as well, and trusted me and Daryl to move to Sydney and go build a career for himself. That story is so powerful, which I could share with people who was coming through the industry and the business when I was running the office. But I also think, today we are both good mates, like in so many different ways. We share a lot of challenges together, of course. But at the same time, we have lots of fun together as well. We run sometimes our meetings together. I think a lot of people in Will's team, a lot of his key players, some of them were hired by me into the industry. But also, we share a lot of commonalities as well, which makes the Sydney location now, I think, pretty strong because we got two different types of personality, two different owners. But we rely on each other's strengths a lot, and we try to make that work.
Love that. That's awesome. It's a good lesson that you don't have to be one certain way to build this thing. Like you play to your strengths, and if you can leverage other people's strengths as well to maybe cover some of your weaknesses, you can build something pretty big.
Yeah, I think the key is just being genuine, isn't it? Just be you. I think this industry works for multiple types of personalities or people. Yeah. But just be you. As long as you follow the systems and be yourself, you can probably make it. Yeah. A good example is even Will and Seamus. They are very different types of personality, but they're both doing pretty well for themselves.
Love that. Very good. All right, I got the last couple of questions for you, mate. These are just a little bit of quick fire stuff.
Go on.
You can take as long as you want, really, but some of them are a little bit quick fire.
Yeah.
Just to go a little bit deeper to understand Veno a little bit more, okay? So first one, what is your coffee order?
Soy cappuccino.
Soy cappuccino.
Depends on the weather, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
when it's hot, controversial.
So when it's cold, it's soy cappuccino. Yeah. When we have hot days, like the last couple of months, it's an iced oat latte.
An iced oat latte.
Yeah.
There you go. Hates the regular milk, this man. Are you a beer or a wine man?
Definitely a beer.
Yeah.
It's funny you asked that question. I had a convo with someone quite recently, and I said if I can only have one last drink ever in my life, it will definitely be a pint of beer.
This man loves his beer. What is your bucket list travel destination that you haven't visited yet that you'd love to visit?
Europe.
Where?
Where?
Europe's pretty big.
If I had to pick one, it'll be Greece.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to go to Greece.
Yeah, nice. Greek islands, Mykonos.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Very cool. Got a new one for you that I haven't asked anyone else yet. What's your favorite thing about our industry?
Oh man, I got too many favorites. But I have to pick one. Okay, I think it's the people. It's the people, like the people around me, the relationships that I've built over the years. I don't think anything beats that. Like, when I go to work every day, it's the people who I look forward to. Whether it's someone who's pretty close to me in terms of the senior team, or even someone who's brand new. It's just the people. You see different type of people every day, and you build good relationships together as well. So I think that's the biggest one for me.
Love that. Do you have a book recommendation that has impacted you the most over your journey?
Yeah. Again, there's multiples, but I think if I was to pick one, I think it's Shoe Dog by Phil Knight.
Yeah.
Great story.
It's great book. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing book. Again, sports and business.
Yep.
So I think it's great.
Yeah, I listened to that one, or audio book. It's very, very good. A couple more. What's the best bit of advice that has been given to you over the years? Can be from anyone, doesn't necessarily have to be a mentor in business, just best bit of advice that you've, if it is, that's great too. But yeah, what's the best bit of advice that's impacted you?
There's a few things that comes to mind. I think the one of the biggest ones, what you said to me many years ago, is to run your own race and just be grateful of where you're at. I think everyone can win this journey. You just got to put blinkers on and just run your own race. And if you did that, you'll probably make it in the industry. That's one of the biggest one that comes to mind right away. The other one is just focusing on what you can control. I think it's a big one, and just being present in the moment. I think we all, in the modern world, there's lots of distractions. And I'll be telling you a lie if I'm not distracted. Like, we are all distracted with a lot of different things. But I think if you can focus on what you can control, you can do really well, whether it's in this industry or in life for that matter. I think the biggest thing that I think that anyone can control is your work ethics and your attitude. If you did that, you're going to do well.
100%. All right, last question. So this is our closing question. So I do like to quickly explain it. So everyone who's listening to every episode, they've heard me explain this, but I'll explain it to you. It's, how in like the Tim Ferriss podcast, he's got like, if you had a billboard, what would your billboard say?
Yeah.
Diary of a CEO is the question left for the next guest type thing.
Yeah.
So my closing question for you is, what's a question that you rarely or never get asked that you wish more people asked you?
Wow. Great question.
Thank you.
Great question. I got one that comes to mind.
Go on.
I think a good question to ask me, which I don't get asked at all, is what do I do when I'm alone?
Okay.
So in my alone time...
Do you do when you're alone? What's the answer?
Lots of journaling.
Okay.
That's what I do. I don't think a lot of people ask me that question.
Yeah.
But I think lots of journaling and clearing my head.
Okay.
I love doing that.
Yeah.
I think it's an exercise I do every single day. Nowadays, you can do it on your phone, obviously, but also writing stuff down is something I really like doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I don't get asked a lot.
It's an interesting area to go, because they say that, success isn't what's done in public, it's what's done in private.
Yeah.
Because when no one's watching, you got to do the right things, whether it's journaling, meditation, exercise, planning, organization, goal setting. We could keep naming everything that you need to do, but it's easy to do that when people are watching.
Correct.
Right? But success is doing the hard stuff when no one's watching.
Yeah, 100%. And I give you an example of yesterday. I thought the most productive time of my whole day yesterday was on my plane ride from Sydney to Melbourne. It was just Veno and no one else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used the time really wisely to write stuff down.
Yeah.
And when the plane landed, I didn't even realize it was landing. Yeah, until the stewardess said, put your tray up.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, okay, cool, we're gonna land soon.
Yeah.
So I was just in that moment. I was just clearing my head.
Yeah.
I love that, and I just think it's an exercise a lot of people should do. But I don't get the question a lot.
Yeah. Oh, good. That's why I ask it. So, there you have it. All right. Whoever's listening, when next time you see Veno, ask him what he journals about. Yeah. But no, mate, this has been great. Very impactful, very powerful. I think a lot of people are going to take a lot out of this conversation. So
thanks, mate.
Thanks for being vulnerable. Thanks for sharing. And
pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure as always.
Let's go.
Love it.